You know what? Something that's been on my mind lately has been the idea of the marching of time. And it's simultaneously the most terrifying concept to me and also the most useful concept. On the one hand, the march of time gets you closer to your deathbed. And on the other, the fact that there is a deathbed should give you the belief that there's not an infinite amount of time to do everything that you want to do. So do it now. Time also, to me, is scary because when time marches and you still have all these goals that you have not done or met or contributed any time towards, you kind of start to freak out a bit. You're like, holy moly, I'm like 20 whatever now, and I said I wanted to do this 5 years ago and I still have not spent any time towards it. What am I doing? But then time is also amazing because I've been learning, and I've learned that it only really takes a couple hours a week of maybe something that you want to improve upon in your life or do. The biggest thing is just consistency. And if you can be consistent, then just lean on time and let time march. And then if you're consistent, then your 1 hour a week will turn into hundreds of hours of work towards this goal that you have. And I think like really embodying that philosophy can be very helpful to achieving your goals. Because I think often we are like, I have to spend 20 hours a week on my, I don't know, name something on your goal, or I'm not going to get anywhere with it. And we get in our head about having to make that time commitment, and as a result, we just never commit. Because you have other priorities in life, you know? You have to take care of so many things, you have responsibilities. How can you realistically carve out 20 hours a week? Right then and there, it's not sustainable. But now imagine a world where you can carve out the minimum amount of time. Like just find out the minimum amount of time you can carve out a week. It could be an hour. It could be 20 minutes on something that you want to work towards. And if you can consistently do that every week, 20 minutes, those 20 minutes will compound every single week. And soon enough, you'd be doing hours and hours of work as you're letting the march of time do the true heavy lifting. The march of time does the true heavy lifting. You don't actually have to spend so much time and kill yourself every day to do these things. Just lean on time. Do them a couple hours a week and just let time do its thing. But the fact is, you have to be consistent for it to work. That same feeling that you get when you like consistently don't do anything, the marching of time comes and then you won't do anything. But if you're just doing a little bit and the march of time happens, then you'll have at least done something. And I was just thinking about that because time will not stop for anybody. Time is limited, and I think that's the most important resource to utilize is your time. For myself, like, I am an avid runner, but I haven't spent too much time in the gym, but I've been very consistent the past 2 months or so, incredibly consistent. And I just spend 3 minutes a week, 50 minutes each. And the amount of strength and like physiological changes that have happened have been unbelievable. And it's been 2 months, but I've just been consistently showing up and doing something. I think that's the key part, is if you have a goal, just do some work towards it. It does not have to be a lot. It does not have to be a lot. I want to repeat that. But it has to be some amount. Because if you're consistently doing some amount over a long period of time, that's the equivalent of doing a ton. And I think it's just an idea that is important to recognize. Um, um, a dog just pulled up on me. That was cute. Uh, yeah, I think it's just leaning into consistency to really get you far in life and make you achieve all your wildest dreams. And like, I don't know if that rings significance to anybody listening, but to me, it just screams unbounded potential. When you have time on your side, you could effectively do anything. So if you're young, use your time. What are you waiting for? You don't have to. Whoa, I almost died. I'm trying to walk down. I don't know. You don't have to like spend every waking hour grinding on your goals, as we're like often convinced by some like influencers. But I'm just saying, you should spend some of your time. Be wise. Don't waste your young years completely doing just something that will not lead to more. I think that's a lot of people's regrets, is when they don't do that. I don't know. But that's just a little conversation about time and consistency. And I alluded to it earlier, but the whole underarching concept of time is being comfortable that it moves. And I think being comfortable that you will die one day, and just kind of using that to as a powerful tool, because I have been someone where, death is on your mind a lot. And at first it was very taxing, but now I find it's very liberating, because I know that if I had an infinite amount of time, I would probably want to do nothing with my life. The fact of the matter is, with my finite amount of time, there's some emphasis on, okay, you should use your time wisely and really appreciate what you have, because it's not going to be forever. And it can be a scary thought to kind of fully appreciate, but I think once you do, it really puts into perspective also what is important in your life and all the battles that you choose to pick or stay out of. Because when you have the march of time in the back of your brain, you kind of also know that means that death is getting closer, and it also means that maybe you should be a bit more forgiving because it's not that big of a deal. You know, almost no problem or issue in your life is as big of a deal as you're making it out to be. So why not be just more forgiving and grateful? Because at the end of the day, we all meet the same fate through the march of time. So my message to you, future Matthew, or to whoever's listening, is you don't have to kill yourself over making time, like maximizing all of time at every waking hour, because you do have to appreciate life still. But I think it would be wise to start to, you know, be consistent with some sort of goal and let time do the heavy lifting to get you to a place where you have always dreamt of wanting to be. And it doesn't have to be much, but it just has to be something. So, take care. Have a great day. It's a lovely day out here in the neighborhood.